This being the last road test of the season, to go undefeated on the road 2 years in a row, what would that mean for this program?
Well, it's a pretty good accomplishment. I would have to make something up with these guys. I don't know that you do anything that really pulls their chain anymore. Honestly, they're unselfish toward each other. They're unselfish about our team. They don't pull each other different directions based on what people say about any of the three phases of our football team. They want each other to get awards individually. And that's fairly uncommon in today's society, not only in football but in life, out there in the real world. There's just not any animosity or any jealousy, and so because of that, they just play with a lot of confidence, and they have a lot of confidence. And I'm not sure I've been around anything like that in what would be, I don't know how long I've been doing this, 25 years or something, as a player and a coach.
Because people looked at the start of the season like, again, thought you had a great team, but got to go to A&M, got to go to Texas, got to go to Missouri, got to go to Ames in November.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
so now, yeah.
I mean, I'd like to stand up here and say I never crossed my mind, but I mean, I was riding down the highway, and my oldest son, who reads everything, memorizes everything, and he said, "Here's what Trammell and all them said about the season." So he puts it right in front of me, and I tended to agree. I mean, I thought I wish we didn't have to go those places.
So I know you don't want to look forward, but to now kind of look back on just what you've accomplished, do you allow yourself to do that?
Jeannie, it's like one game at a time, and that's really the best way to put it, because we won at A&M. We were very fortunate that our players came out in the third quarter and kind of changed the momentum, got a turnover, and then it started to roll. And we got out of there alive. And then there were still the other challenges. You still had to go to Austin, and you had to go to Columbia. And, we won once at Tech since the 40s, and, that's kind of out there because we hadn't played there for a long time. But still not an easy place to play. So it was just one game at a time, and then, at some point you kind of look back and think, boy, I'm glad I don't have to do this again. It's really the truth, But they've just played well, and then you worry about, I know you guys think about asking the question, you worry about, is there something that has to happen, or what do you not want to happen to make sure it keeps going? And so I don't know what that is, except just as I'd mentioned, I try to change things a little bit to make it better, or make it like we're really getting ready to play the next game, and they don't want me to mess with their routine. They want everything to stay the same, and they just want to keep moving along as they've progressed up to this point.
Coach Monken had said, I think after Lubbock, he said that sometimes he just thinks this team may be a little too loose, but smiled about it. Is that part of going back to what you said, how well this team kind of manages itself?
I have concerns about it. I've had concerns about it at times, and then you get to a certain point and you have to let it go. You have to let them play. You have to let them be who they are, and you can't change the temperament or chemistry of a team. And I think that you see that in all sports at all levels. Because you look at teams that have been traditionally very good at our level, or you look at NFL teams that were really, really good, and then this year they can't win any games. Well, that's because of the chemistry of their team. Now, obviously, it's different if you lose a guy like Peyton Manning. I mean, that's a significant blow. But teams that weren't very good, and this year they're doing good, and then teams that are the opposite, in my opinion, that's based on some sort of effective leadership or ineffective leadership and the chemistry of the team. And that's just the way it is. You can't really change it. Sometimes it's for you and sometimes it's against you.
While you're going through this, how much do you identify the guys who will take this over? When this senior class is gone, how much do you kind of look and see how it's filtering down and say, okay, there's a guy, he's going to be a guy we can count on the league? How much do you look at?
Well, I do that every year, and certainly in the last couple years because of my limited role in X's and O's. And I feel better about where we're at now than I did 2 years ago, just because of the young players we have on our team that I think have two things. One, more athletic ability than some of the guys that are playing now. And two, they've had really good values and qualities in winning instilled in him by this group of players. This group of guys that's going to finish here is going to have a chance to win 40 games in 4 years. So the younger players have winning instilled in them whether they like it or not. And that plays a huge role in a team sport.
Mike, this is the second round of the high school playoffs, and the Cowboys are playing on Friday night, and it seems like you put a lot of fans in the dilemma of, do I go support my high school football team, or do I stay home and watch the Cowboys, or what do I do? And it's Friday night games are tough.
Well, they are, and that discussion took place when we were making a decision what to do. And I certainly am for high school football, and a Saturday for college football, and Sunday if people like to watch the NFL. But you can turn it on now on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, and it's out there because it's based on money and television. So it's kind of a load. It's like your wife asking you how she looks in that dress. It's kind of a loaded question. So I want everybody to go watch high school football, and they can listen to the Cowboys on the radio if they need to. If they don't have somebody that's really tied into high school football, they can watch the Cowboys.
And kind of the flip side of that, if people aren't involved in a high school football game, people all over the country, you guys are going to be kind of on the main stage as far as college football for that night, and that's got to do a lot for the program.
Well, it gives us a chance to put Oklahoma State out there, and there's a 3-hour period there where they'll see our logo, and I'm sure they'll have some pieces on some of our players, and they'll have 30-second shots of our university and campus, and we just feel like that in the long run that it's good for Oklahoma State University. And I've mentioned this, our enrollment's up more now than it ever has been, not only this year but over the 4-year period in the history of the school, I think. I don't know, am I right? Sounds good anyway, something like that. So but for the most part, the more that we can do and the more that we can market Oklahoma State, get more students here, then it's only good for the Oklahoma State, the Stillwater, or the community in Stillwater, and the state of Oklahoma.
Coach, how big has your offensive line been for your success this year so far?
Well, those guys have been really good. Coach Wickline does a great job with them, and they're mature. They handle things well. Their demeanor's a lot like Brandon. There's not a lot that really affects them during the game. They handle adversity well, and we're going to miss some of those guys. Levy and Grant Garner. Those guys have been really good for us. Now, fortunately, we got a number of them coming back. We got Mike Bowie's playing some now. He's coming back, and Parker Graham's playing some now. He's coming back. Lane's coming back. Jonathan Rush is coming back. So at the end of this year, I kind of thought we'd have to bring in a new group, but we're really going to be fairly experienced again next year.
Isn't it nice that they don't have kind of that limelight placed on them for success, or do you think they would like that?
Well, they'd like it. They'd love to have limelight placed on them. They try to draw as much attention to themselves as they can, but their coach is not really good about much compassion for them. So it's a difficult situation. I really feel sorry for them and their coach, to be honest with you.
Mike, how will you handle next week, the off week, in terms of schedule?
I've got some thoughts on that, and as I tell the team that I'm the one guy that has to look a week ahead because I got to schedule everything so the thing can run on all cylinders. We're not sure. I'm not sure how we'll handle the exact days, but the players will get a minimum of 3 days off. Minimum of 3 days off where they're out here completely. So we're just not sure how we're going to structure practices. Try to stay as close to the routine as we've had, and then give them some time to be with their families and then bring them back.
Mike, your receivers, what I would consider your number 3 and 4 receivers, you play without Hubert and Harrison.
Mhm.
And you score 66 points without the running game being really explosive. What does that say about the receivers, how deep you are and how some of those other guys have come along?
Well, they have. Isaiah Anderson made some nice plays for us the last couple of weeks, made a really nice catch out there, made some good catches on some screens. Tracy, and then, we had Coop back. Coop makes some plays for us, and obviously Blackman makes his plays. The system that we have works, and even though we are somewhat different in our style this year with Todd Monken's touch and his approach on our offense, the overall philosophy of what we do with the receivers and the way the system's set up, in my opinion, gives us a chance for success with what would be a 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th guy on our roster. And years ago, those guys wouldn't ever even get a catch. So it's working for what we intended it to do, which was to allow us to use multiple players and recruit more guys in here, knowing they all get a chance to make some catches and play in the offense.